So today we're going to touch on the important topic, often asked question, when is my hair going to grow back? When am I going to get the result? This timeline of growth after hair transplant is the topic of the day. So welcome to my channel, and for those who've joined the first time, I am Dr. Tejinder Bhatti based in India, and I do hair transplants using FUE technique. And you would like to know that I bring out informational updates every now and then, updates on hair loss and hair loss treatments that are evidence-based and information that you can rely upon. So if you're interested in the timeline of growth, please stay on. Hair transplant is a very emotional journey before the hair transplant and after the hair transplant as well. Since a lot of emotions have gone into this process in the planning stage and in the research stage, not much thought was given on how and when my hair will grow back. When will the regrowth start? When do I expect a result? This video deals just with that, and I'm going to explain in brief. So when the hair transplant is over, you have a lot of crusting. And this crusting takes about 2 weeks to fall off. In most cases, in Caucasian hair transplant, it takes just about 7 to 10 days because of different skin characteristics. Once the crusting has fallen off, you will see that the hair begin to grow. In most cases, these transplanted hair that are growing are not going to stay permanently. Most of them will fall off. Why? Because these are the old hair of the graft, and after the procedure, the hair shaft gets detached from the root. And once it is detached, the new hair growing from the root below this shaft displaces this old hair and eventually it falls off. This process of shedding starts from as early as 7 to 10 days and can last up to 4 to 6 weeks. But in most cases, it is over by the 4th week. This is the period called the ugly duckling phase of hair transplant. And the person who was so used to the hair that is growing feels a great loss that the hair is not there anymore. This period is called anagen effluvium and happens in most of the patients, about 67% patients. There is a small percentage of 5 to 7% of patients in whom there is no anagen effluvium. The hair begin to grow from day one. Now once the hair have fallen off, for a period between 1 month to 3 months, there is very little hair to show. Even if there is hair, it is wispy thin. You can feel it, but most people can't see it. It is so thin because it lacks protein. The shaft diameter is very thin. The shaft diameter is very small, and you just can't see them. So this is the time we get multiple inquiries from patients that whether my hair have all fallen off. Are they going to grow back? In spite of our having given them so many instructions what to expect after hair transplant, this is very natural that once it falls off, the patient needs some emotional, psychological support. And that support can be given only by the doctor, because the doctor's word sticks with the patient who have entrusted his hair transplant out of faith and trust in the practice. So this is the period when the patient should stop thinking, should be patient, should be in communication with the doctor more often for psychological, emotional support, but he should be taking the medicines that have been advised, the DHT blockers that have been advised, because hair which are transplanted are very prone to the effect of DHT on them. Because whatever you say, the hair which have been transplanted are relatively immune to DHT. They are not completely immune. So even 1% to 5% susceptibility to DHT will compromise the result. Therefore, DHT blockers, to my mind, are essential after hair transplant. By 3.5 months to 4 months, the patient will start having a lot of itching over the head. This itching is a good sign. This itching means the hair which are growing from the roots are trying to break through the skin and reach the surface. At around 4 months, to 4.5 months, a patient can see a darkening of the skin. There's a color change because the hair is coming up. If it is dark hair, there's a color change. If it is blonde hair, it'll look a little different. So it is by 5 months that a patient has a decent first result in most cases. But this decent result is not the full result. The hairline is still a bit see-through. When you look down, you can still see skin. The hair is thin. It's not like the hair at the back of the head from where the grafts have been taken. And there are gaps which are noticeable. But between the period of 5 months to 6 months, and at times 2 or 3 months later, but definitely by 9 months, the patient's head becomes fuller, the hairline becomes more defined, and more people start to comment on the pleasing look. Here you must note that a person who's seeing you every day will not be able to see the difference. A person you meet after 5 months of the hair transplant, a person who knows you closely, will be surprised at the amount of hair that you've grown since he last met you. So this is the beauty of hair transplant. Some people have slow growth, and mostly these people are people who are diabetics, people who have some immune disorders, or due to some other ambiguous reasons which we are not sure of. However, most people get the result by 9 months. There are more details about timeline of growth, how result happens, how much time result takes to kick in the description below. If you have any questions to ask me, please don't hesitate. Write in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. Meantime, watch this video.